on YouTube? I am Rob with Elder Oak Productions, bringing you another food review, but we're doing things a little differently today. Today we're actually going to be cooking up some beautiful penne pasta and mixing it all together with this Mezzetta Napa Valley homemade roasted garlic and caramelized onions flavored tomato sauce. I hope it's going to be really delicious. Stick around, watch me cook this up, and enjoy the review. Alright everyone, the first step is to get some water in a pot to get it to start boiling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to season the water with salt to infuse the pasta with some good flavor. Once you have your pasta water salted, this is what you want to do. Put some oil in the water. It gives it some flavor, and also it helps the pasta to not stick once it's boiling. That's a big step. Salt and oil in your water. Okay everyone, I put my burner on high heat and I'm going to cover this up with my lid. Just make sure that you leave a little space open so that your water does not overboil and get all over your burners, all over your stove. Alright everyone, it's now time to open up this jar of Mezzetta Napa Valley homemade roasted garlic and caramelized onions tomato sauce. And there it is in the jar. Looks like a very oily sauce. See a lot of chunks of spices going on in there. There's definitely a strong scent of various herbs in here. I think they really packed this sauce with a lot of different Italian herbs. And that caramelized onion is really coming through in the aroma. I hope this tastes as good as it smells. Okay everyone, as you can see, this water is boiling. So here I have some beautiful tricolor penne, and we're gonna put this penne in the water right now. Just gonna shake that in. Now what you want to do, which is really important, is now that you put it in, you want to take your spoon and you want to give all of that pasta a stir, just to make sure it doesn't stick on the bottom. Let that come back to a boil, and we want to leave this in the water for about 11 minutes, just so it gets, I like it just a little bit more cooked than al dente. Not very al dente, but just over al dente. Alright everyone, the pasta is boiling. It's almost done. I have about 5 minutes or less. I have the timer on my iPad. And what I'm going to do right now is start to heat up that cup of sauce. So I have my sauce here, and I'm going to put this sauce into this pan. And we're going to put this on low heat because I don't want it to be scorched. I just want to get it heated a little bit through. We are going to cook the pasta and the sauce together. So, you know, we don't need this sauce extremely hot at this point. I just want to start getting it warm. Okay everyone, I have the flame on this pot on pretty low. It's just over 4 on the gas mark indicator. Just going to give it a little stir here. Definitely a thick sauce. Not much liquid in here. Definitely very chunky. So we're just going to start heating this through, and the pasta should be done in about 3 minutes. And we'll mix it all together. Alright, that pasta is literally seconds from being done. Just giving this sauce a last stir here. Now I'm going to cut the heat off. It is bubbling away, and that's pretty heated through, so when we mix it together with the pasta, it'll really infuse its flavors with that pasta. Okay everyone, here is that tricolor pasta in the colander. I just dumped the pan with the water into the colander. Now I'm just going to give it a shake and a little turn. Get all that water off of this pasta. You want to get as much water out of the pasta as possible, so that when you mix it with the sauce will stick and not just fall off. You know, it's always the worst when you have pasta that is too wet and the sauce gets on it and it doesn't infuse together. It just makes for a flavorless pasta dish. So we're going to shake all of this moisture off, and we'll be right back. Alright everyone, that pasta, the moisture has got off of it, but now what we're going to do is to enhance the dish. We're going to do something really special. We're going to take some olive oil, and we're going to pour this olive oil, just a couple of dashes, into that pasta. This is again for seasoning, but also that olive oil is going to allow the sauce to really cling to the pasta. For seasoning, we'll also put some salt on it, and some black pepper. This is one of your only chances, besides seasoning the water, to actually get some real flavor into that pasta. Now we're gonna give it a shake. There we go. Okay everyone, we have our pasta back in the pan that we boiled it in, and a lot of people skip this step. And this is what causes a lot of pasta dishes to be subpar, because the pasta does not infuse with that sauce. That sauce doesn't get all the little nook and crannies in the penne, doesn't get all absorbed by that sauce, and the flavor is usually lacking, and there's never enough sauce when that happens if you just toss it on here at this point in a bowl. So what we're gonna do is infuse the sauce in the pasta. So we're gonna take the sauce that we heated up, and we're gonna just pour it in. Alright everyone, I put the rest of that sauce in the pasta here, and I have this on about medium heat, and what we're going to do is start mixing this sauce and the pasta together. I'm actually going to pick the heat up a bit, and we really want to use this heat in this pan to really infuse the pasta and the sauce together so they become one. Alright, this is almost ready. The trick here is kind of letting that sauce get stuck on the bottom of the pan but not burn. So that's why we keep on stirring it. We just want that sauce to really get thick and just congeal around each piece of pasta. Now this is pretty much good. Just stir it for a couple more seconds and we'll plate it up. Okay everyone, here I have this pasta with this beautiful Mezzetta sauce. Before we put any cheese on it or anything, I'm going to just taste it by itself, the pasta and the sauce. Check that out. Definitely an aroma of caramelized onion. Definitely some really strong herbs in there. Let's give it a taste. This is definitely a thick sauce. It has some really good base flavors. When you make a real sauce at home, you can really taste that fresh olive oil in your sauce. It really permeates throughout the sauce, and it's doing that here. It has a really fresh olive oil taste underneath everything, kind of like a bass note in a symphony. And then it adds on all of that caramelized onion flavor, some garlic flavor. I'm not getting much garlic flavor, but mostly caramelized onion and some different herbs coming in. When I first smelled this sauce, I thought that all of those herbs are just going to be really overpowering, really overbearing. However, when I taste it, they're there. I can definitely taste them, but it's kind of like the high notes of a symphony orchestra. That's what it is. This is a really well-balanced sauce. It definitely has some really authentic flavor in it as a base note, and those different spices in it really give it an interesting flavor. Personally, when I make my tomato sauce, I don't put all these different herbs and spices in it. But if you're someone who really loves all of these different herbs and spices in your tomato sauce, then this is definitely a sauce for you. It'll give you an authentic Italian flavor while also kind of giving it a strong flavor of onion and herbs, which you would really enjoy if, again, you do like a really heavily spiced tomato sauce. Alright everyone, now there are two rules that I always observe when eating pasta, or I usually observe. First of all, well, this is always a must. You definitely always have to have some freshly grated Parmesan cheese over your pasta. If you don't put cheese on your pasta, you're not doing it the Italian way. Secondly, it's always nice to have a glass of red wine with your pasta dinner. This is actually some homemade wine that my grandfather makes pretty much every year. This is so delicious. It'll be a great accompaniment with this pasta. Cheers to you guys. Okay everyone, let's take a bite of this pasta dish with that cheese. That Parmesan cheese really gives this sauce a really creamy flavor and a nutty flavor that really good Parmesan cheese gives. This sauce really reminds me of a really authentic Italian sauce, and I'm really getting flavors that only come when you make a sauce, when you cook it for hours on end. Mezzetta is really hitting it on the spot. So what am I going to have to rate this roasted garlic and caramelized onion sauce from Mezzetta? Well, it does taste pretty authentic, and it does have some interesting herb flavors in it. I'm gonna have to give this sauce a 3 out of 5 nod rating. It is a complete would suggest. If you're in the supermarket, if you're looking for a new sauce to make a quick and easy dinner during the week with, definitely pick up a jar of Mezzetta sauce. They have so many different flavors that I am so excited to try out. 3 out of 5 nods are very respectable for Mezzetta. Everyone, thanks for watching this new type of food review on this channel. I don't know what we're gonna call this series yet, but I have been wanting to actually cook something on camera and review it. So I don't know what we're gonna call this show yet, but we're definitely going to be doing this again. Everyone, thanks for watching. I have been Ra with Elder Oak Productions, and thank you to Mezzetta for making this Italian believe that there really is very good and authentic Italian sauce on the supermarket shelves. Everyone, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. See you next time. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like down below. And also, please consider sharing the video and also subscribing to this channel so that we can really build an Elder Oak community here on YouTube. That was not bad at all.